Okay, my dear students, a warm good afternoon to everyone. For in
Good
this class,
afternoon, sir.
okay,
Good
in
afternoon,
this
sir.
class, I would like to give a small recap of all the major characters of the poem The Rape of the Lock. Just have a quick glance at the characters once again. First, we have Belinda, or the protagonist of the poem. Belinda is based on the original historical character named Arabella Fermor, and she was a member of Pope's close circle of prominent RCs, that is Roman Catholics. And we also have Lord Peter, who was mentioned as the Baron in the poem. And there was a rift between two families because Lord Peter had cut off a lock of hair from Arabella Fermor. So in the poem, Arabella Fermor was called as Belinda. Robert Lord Peter was called as the Baron. Okay. Next we have John Carroll. He appears in the same name Carroll, but with a single L in his name. We also have the Muse, that is the goddess, which is in charge for providing the inspiration for poets to take up the career or job of writing their verses. It is the goddess. It is the Muse, which is, and here we have the Muse's reference to none other than Carroll himself. Caroyl, single L. And he is the one who is referred as the muse here, who is supposed to give motivation and inspiration to write the poem. We have Shock, that is none but Belinda's lapdog, a pet dog. We have Ariel, a guardian sylph, an angel, a spirit. We have Ariel, a guardian sylph, and who leads the entire army of invisible protective spirits or deities. I think you can see the screen, right? Can you see the list of characters?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We
Yes,
have
sir.
Umbriel or Umbriel, that is the chief of gnomes who travels to the cave of spleen and returns with bundles of sighs and tears to aggravate Belinda's vexation. That is after the cutting of hair. We also have a sylph in charge of guarding Belinda's earrings named Brillante. Brillante is the sylph who is in charge of guarding Belinda's earrings. We also have Momentilla, the sylph who is in charge of guarding Belinda's watch. And we have another character called Crispisa, the sylph who is assigned to guard Belinda's favorite lock of hair. And Clarissa is an attendant at the Hampton Court party. She is the lady who gives the Baron the pair of scissors to cut the hair. She also delivers a moralizing lecture in the later part of the poem. We also have a character called Thalestris, Belinda's friend, named for the Queen of Amazons. And originally her name is Gertrude Morley. She was none but the wife of Sir George Brown, right? And he was called as Sir Plume. He was called as Sir Plume in the poem. His original name is Sir George Brown. His wife is Gertrude Morley. Gertrude Morley appears in the poem with the name Thalestris. Right. Sir Plume is the lover of the lady. Thalestris. Okay. So now we get into the poem line by line. I think we have started with canto number 1, in which we have the invocation of muses. Here we can see this words to Carroll muse. So Carroll is the muse here because he is the friend of Alexander Pope, who wants to bring in an estrangement. That is, he wants to bring back the families together again, forgetting the rift between them. So he says, what dire offense from amorous causes springs. Even pleasurable things may cause undesirable effect. What mighty contests arise from trivial things. Even ordinary things may bring about mighty or powerful fights between two families. That is what happened here. So let me sing for that. For this verse is motivated by Carol, the muse, and is due. This even Belinda may vouchsafe to view. Slight is the subject. The subject I have chosen may appear to be a very slight one, a very ordinary one, right? But not so the praise. But I cannot limit myself when I come to praise the beauty of Belinda. My dear students, always keep a pen and notebook side by side, and you can zoom the screen for better clarity of the screen or the lines you can see. Okay. So Belinda may even promise or approve that I have given a very strong praise of her beauty and to inspire her and he to approve my lays, right? That is lines of poems. So say what strange motive goddess could compel a well-bred lord to assault a gentle belle. Belle is a young lady. He doesn't understand the motive behind a lord to assault, to attack a beautiful and gentle lady like you, Belinda. And say what stranger cause, yet unexplored, still it is not explored, could make a gentle lady reject a lord. Because earlier, Belinda had also rejected the proposal of the Lord, that is the Baron. In tasks so bold can little men engage, and in soft bosoms dwell such mighty rage. Alexander Pope wonders why the lady should have rejected the Lord's proposal, or why the Lord has behaved so rudely by cutting off a lock of hair from a gentle lady like Belinda. So we will find out the reasons in the later part of the poem. So even in soft bosoms means hearts, right? Dwell such mighty rage. Rage means anger. Because women are known to be very soft-natured creatures, right? Am I right or not? Women are always soft-natured when compared to men. I think women will agree with that. Very eagerly, women
Yes,
come
sir.
forward to say, women are very soft-hearted, sir. Is it so?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
okay. Let it be like that. That is why women are appointed in nursery schools and primary schools and as nurses in hospitals. Men are not appointed. Do you know why? Women have the patience. Women are more tolerant. Women are more kind, that is kinder than men. And they have more compassion than men because taking care of young children, infants, needs lots of patience. That is lacking in men. When compared to women, men lack that patience and compassion. That is why women are appointed as nurses and young caretakers in schools, even in as a primary school and elementary school or in creatures. Only women are appointed due to their stronger element of compassion in them. Okay. So even in some soft hearts, some mighty anger may dwell. Okay. Now we come to the description of Belinda. I call upon one of the students to read the lines here, and I call upon Baby Subha to read. Baby Subha, can you read the lines? Baby Subha, are you available? Baby Subha A, are you available or not?
Sir.
Can you please read the poem?
Sir.
The highlighted part. Just read the highlighted part, please.
So throw white curtains shot the generous ray, and open those eyes, the mercy eclipsed the day. Now lapdogs give themselves the roshing shake, and the sleepless
Themselves
lovers
the rousing shake. Please
roshing
read slowly, loudly, and clearly. I am very extremely
now.
pitiable and I am extremely shocked by your pronunciation. Please be slow. Read the words loudly, slowly, and clearly. Please try to read legibly.
Okay, sir. Now
Please.
lapdogs give themselves the rosh
Themselves, ma. Themselves is the
themselves
word very strong. Is it a very difficult word?
themselves
Themselves.
themselves
Hmm.
the
Please
rousing
continue.
shake, and the sleepless lovers just at 12 awake. Thrice rang the bell, the sleepers knocked the ground, and they pressed watch returned the silver sound.
Okay. So Belinda has been lying in the bed for a long time, whereas everyone has got up. And the sol means sun. The sun through the white curtains shot a timorous ray. Sun rays have entered. It is almost afternoon, and she has to open her eyes. When she opens the eyes, it will eclipse the day. That is, the eyes of Belinda were so beautiful that it can eclipse the day. And now the lapdogs give themselves a rousing shake. And then what happens is, slowly and steadily, Belinda is getting up from the bed, whereas others have all got up much earlier. Belinda is very late in the morning, getting up from her bed. Okay. And then lapdogs also give themselves a rousing shake. Sleepless lovers. Lovers are sleepless because they are love sick. And at 12 o'clock, they are awake only at the afternoon, and the bell has rung three times, and the slipper touched the ground, and pressed the watch, returned a silver sound. That is how Belinda simply has waken up from her sleep. Please continue with the next paragraph also. I call upon another student. Gopika, are you available?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you read it, ma? Can you please
Yes,
read
sir.
it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Belinda, still her downy pillow pressed, her guardian sylph prolonged the balmy rest. It was he had summoned to her silent bed the morning dream that hovered over her head, a youth more glittering than a birth night view, that even in slumber caused her cheek to glow, seemed to her ear
Cheek,
his
cheek.
cheek to glow, seemed to her ear his winning lips to lay, and thus in whispers said, or seemed to say.
Okay. Belinda, still pressing her pillows closely and unable, she's not ready to wake up fully. And her guardian sylph, Belinda, Belinda's guardian sylph, it was the sylph which had prolonged the sleep of Belinda. Belinda was not sleeping because of herself, it is because of her guardian sylph which prolonged or kept her asleep for a longer time. And as he sleeps, he sends her a dream. Please make a note of it. The sylph sends her a dream of a handsome young man, and whispers in her ear, having seemed to her ear in winning lips to lay. You can see the line, seemed to her ear his winning lips to lay. The sylph explains to her that a sylph is the guardian of a young and beautiful virgin. Virgin people, virgin girls are guarded by sylphs. And the sylph further explains that even after death, all the souls of young women, their souls, will return to the four elements of nature. That is where they come from. All women can be classified into four particular major characteristic features. What are they? First one is the four elements. Out of the four elements, fiery women, women of extreme anger. These women, after their death, their souls will become salamanders, a lizard. And soft yielding women, they will become water spirits. Next, they will become water spirits. Next, prudish women's souls, they will sink down into the earth and they will become gnomes, Gnomes. You can see the next lines. How The women's souls are they are being transformed into elves. Right? We have seen in the last class. That is the 4 elements we have seen. Let us continue with the lines and then we can further explain the 4 things. Okay. Or virgins visited by angel powers, right here and believe thy own importance know, nor bound thy narrow views to things below, some secret truths from learned pride concealed, to maids alone and children are revealed. So only in sleep or in dreams, some things will be revealed to maids and children, virgin women, right? So the spirits of the dead women, right, they will be turned into 4 natural elements. And the sylphs are in charge of guarding them, and the sylph narrates everything, how the elements of soul retire. Yes, the spirits of flame mount up, take up a salamander's name. Soft yielding minds, they become water, glide away, right? And they become nymphs. Make note of it. Water spirits are called as nymphs. And then the third category, prudish women, they become earth spirits, gnomes, Gnomes, gnomes. Finally, the light coquettes, who are in charge of protecting the chastity and the pleasure of young women, are called as sylphs, and they will flutter in the air. They are the air spirits. So we have fire spirits, water spirits, nymphs, gnomes or earth spirits, and the sylphs or air spirits. We have seen in the last class itself. Now we continue with the next line. No further yet, whomsoever fair and chaste rejects mankind. What do you mean by this? The sylph is giving a warning to Belinda. Am I clear? Is my voice clear? Are you able to follow it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is duty of Belinda to know further. What is the message conveyed by the sylph? Whoever fair and chaste must reject mankind is by sylph embraced. The sylph is in charge for protecting the chastity of the virgin girls. For spirits freed from mortal laws with ease assume what sexes and what shapes they please. The spirits may acquire whatever shapes they like. So what guards the purity of melting maids in courtly balls and midnight masquerades, save from treacherous friends, the daring spark, the glance by day, the whisper in the dark, when kind occasion prompts their warm desires. So women are vulnerable to the sexual advances made by the men. So women must be protected by the sylphs. So when music softens and when dancing fires, sexual pleasures will be kindled in the minds of young women. So they must be carefully guarded. So it is but their sylph, the wise celestial spirits know how to honor the word with the men below, to be careful with the men. Some nymphs are there. They are too conscious of their face for life predestined to the gnomes' embrace. The gnomes are the earth spirits. They are mischievous spirits. So they have to be very careful about the gnomes. They may spoil the young girls. These swell their prospects and exalt their pride. When offers are disdained and love denied, then gay ideas crowd the vacant brain. Very satirically, Pope says, look at the words here. Gay ideas means happy thoughts of sex. It will crowd the vacant brain. Women's brains are compared to vacant brains. Please don't get angry. I have not written this line. This is written by Alexander Pope. Okay. Well, while peers and dukes and all their sweeping train, gartered stars, coronets appear, and in soft sounds, your grace salutes their ears. It is these that early train the female soul, insect the eyes of young coquettes to roll. The coquettes will roll their eyes. I have told you, right? Women or men, both the sexes, why do we indulge in so much of makeup every day? Anybody? Anyone?
To attract others.
Attract others, not only others means opposite sexes, right? Am I right or not? Why do we spend a lot of time in front of the mirror, right? Combing our hair for hours together, having so much of makeup items. Women are pioneers. Women are experts in makeup. Am I right? Men do not spend much time for makeup. Women have so many makeup items, and there is a cosmetic industry. It is flourishing because of women, right? There is a case filed in the court recently. Fair and Lovely, the term should not be used as Fair and Lovely. That is why they have changed the name as Glow and Lovely, right? They cheat young people, especially young girls, that all the girls can become extremely fair and beautiful. So it is a marketing technique that less fair, beautiful, or girls or darker girls, or they are made to believe that they are not beautiful. It is a stigma established by the cosmetic industry. They have to believe that they are not beautiful. Then only they will buy the cosmetic products. This is a marketing technique. Okay. So Karan, all these things will appear for the young girls. Teach infant cheeks a bidden blush. The girls' faces will be blushing. The cheeks will be blushing. Little hearts to flutter at your view. When they look at a young and handsome man, the girls' hearts will flutter. It is the same case for men also. So don't get carried away. Okay. Now, I request another student to read the lines. This paragraph. I will call upon the next in line, Harinya. Harinyava, what is her name?
Harinika Darshini, sir.
Harinika Darshini. Please, ma, please.
Often when the world imagine women stray, the sylphs throw mystic mazes
The
through
sylph, mystic mazes.
the sylphs through mystic mazes guide their way through all the giddy circle they pursue, and old impertinence expel by new. What tender maid but must a victim fall to one man's treat but for another's ball? When Florio speaks, what virgin could withstand? If gentle Damon did not squeeze her hand with varying vanities from every part. They sift the moving toy shop of their heart, where wigs with sword knots strive. Buicks banish buicks, and coaches drive. This erring mortal's levity may call, oh blind to truth, the sylphs contrive it all.
Okay. Often, when the world imagine women stray, women will be hovering around and their hearts will be attracted to young men. And when they hover through the mystic mazes, that is the sylphs will be hovering, surrounding them in the air. They will be invisible to others, and they will be surrounding the young girls. Through all the giddy circle they pursue. The old impertinence expelled by new. That is, impertinence means inappropriate or irrelevant. Old things will be replaced by newer and newer boys or newer men. What tender maid must a victim fall to one man's treat but for another's ball? So, there is an idea that there are some women who are influenced by the malicious gnomes. The gnomes will cheat them. The gnomes are very mischievous creatures. They may make fall like victims. So, to one man's treat but for another's ball. When Florio speaks, what virgin could withstand if gentle Damon did not squeeze her hand? This is a relevance. There is a classical allusion. Make a note of it. Make a note of it. It is a classical allusion. Where we have Damon. Damon is the lover, Florio is the lady love, and it try to squeeze her hand. That is trying to cheat her. And that is how men will all the time come and speak so many lovable lines and try to cheat the young girls. So you have to be very, very careful. And what is the comparison used here by Alexander Pope in the next line? With men will come with varying vanities from every part of the land. They shift the moving toy shop of their heart. So men will keep the ladies as toy shops, toys. Men will change their feelings repeatedly. They will keep on changing their lady loves. That is why they are compared to toy shops. The ladies are compared to toy shops. But where wigs with wigs. It is a reference, that is a translation of Alexander Pope's Iliad, where he makes a comparison that where wigs with wigs and sword knots strive. That is fighting. It refers to a fight where we have helmet to helmet. That is wigs with wigs. Sword knots means nothing but sword knots are all helmets, shields. So they have to defend them. The spirits or the sylphs are in charge of fighting such young men or preventing such young men approaching the young girls to destroy their chastity. This erring mortals, that is why erring means committing mistakes, right? Erring means committing mistakes. So they will try to cheat the young girls. Okay. So the erring mortals, levity may call. Levity means treating something with humor or lack of respect. Probable respect கொடுக்காம treat பண்றாங்க. Men will treat the young girls without respect. Oh, blind to truth, the sylph contrive it all. The sylph will take care of everything. Of these am I, who your protection claim. I am in charge of your protection. I am a watchful spirit, and my name is Ariel. Make a note of it. The name of the spirit is Ariel. It reveals its name. It explains its name as Ariel, and it is a watchful spirit. Late as I consulted, ranked means consulted the wiles of air, other spirits. Wiles means other spirits of air. In the clear mirror of thy ruling star, I saw, alas, some dread event impend. Impend means about to come. I dread means I am afraid that some bad incident is going to happen. Right? And the stars, the ruling star means, the stars means நட்சத்திரங்கள். இங்க இருந்து the ஜோசியம் சொல்லுவோம்ல ஜாதகத்துல நட்சத்திரம் சொல்லுச்சா, some dreadful event is going to happen before to the main this morning sun descent, before sunset. So but heaven reveals not what or how or where. We are not sure about what kind of incident is going to happen or how it is going to happen or where it will happen. It is warned by the sylph. O pious maid, beware, be careful. This is to disclose is all thy guardian can. I am your guardian spirit. I can only give you a warning. Beware of all, but most beware of man. You have to be very careful about everyone, but you have to be very, very careful about men. So that is the warning given by the spirit Ariel. Okay. Next, please continue with the next paragraph. Harini, continue பண்ணுங்க.
He said, when Shock, who thought she slept too long, leaped up and waked his mistress with his tongue. It was then, Belinda, if reports say true, Thy eyes first opened on a billet dogs, wounds, charms, and orders were no sooner read, but all the vision vanished from thy head.
Okay. Now, the dog, the lap dog, the pet dog maintained by Belinda also wakes up. Right? And Shock thinks that even the dog itself thinks that the lady has been slept too long. Look at the parody here. Look at the satire here. Satire is intended to prick the people, not to hurt anyone. Right? Now, the Shock, it thinks that the mistress had slept too long, leaped up and waked his mistress with his tongue. How disgusting. I can't even imagine. And I don't know why girls prefer, I think many young girls prefer rearing dogs. And I personally, I don't like dogs and cats at all. And I don't know why women keep dogs as their pets. They have a fascination for dogs. I have a friend who's rearing dogs, and that dog is a very violent, useless dog, a cur, sorinai. It is a very powerful dog also, and it has bitten her so many times. சார் என் நாய் கடிச்சு, எந்த நாய்மா கடிச்சு, ஏன் நாயை கடிச்சு, அப்புறம் எதுக்கு அந்த நாயை வளர்க்குறீங்க, அப்படி இருக்காங்க. I have a good friend. She is rearing a German Shepherd. ஜெர்மன் ஷெப்பர்ட் கண்ணுக்குட்டி மாதிரி இருக்கும், பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. அந்த நாய்கிட்ட அடிக்கடி கடி வாங்கிட்டு வருவாங்க, இவங்களே கட்டு போட்டுலாம் வருவாங்க. என்னம்மா கையில் காயம் கேட்டால் நாய் கடிச்சு. எருமா சொன்னாய் திருநாயை கடிச்சா, இல்லை சார் நான் வளர்க்குற நாய் தான் கடிச்சு, அதுவும் பொட்ட நாய் கடிச்சிச்சு சார். அவள் தான் சார் கடிச்சா. அவளாம் நாயை குளிப்பாட்டி காரில் உட்கார வச்சு, ஃப்ரண்ட் சீட்டில் உட்கார வச்சு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து செல்ஃபி எடுத்து போட்டுருக்காங்க. ஐ டோன்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். நாயா பாருங்கம்மா, ஏன் நாயை போய் வந்து பேர் வச்சுக்கிட்டு ஜோர் வச்சுக்கிட்டு அது வீட்டில் வச்சு வளர்த்துக்கிட்டு, ஐ டோன்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். இது என்னைக்குமே நல்லா தெரிஞ்சுங்க, அனிமல் இஸ் அன் அனிமல். அனிமல் மஸ்ட் பி ட்ரீட்டட் அஸ் அன் அனிமல், நாட் அஸ் அ எனிதிங் எல்ஸ். அது வீட்டில் வந்து பெட்லேயே படுத்துக்கிட்டு அங்கே உட்காந்து சொரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு யூரின் போய் எல்லாம் அசிங்கம் பண்ணி வைக்கும். வி பிகம் வெரி வல்னரபிள் டு இன்ஃபெக்ஷன்ஸ். புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். வீட்டு நமக்கே சோறு போடுறதுக்கு தண்டம், நீ ஒரு நாய் வர வளர்க்குதுன்னா அது தண்டத்துக்கு தண்டமா? இதெல்லாம் தேவையில்லாத வேலை. இதெல்லாம் நாய் வளர்க்குறது, பேய் வளர்க்குறதுலாம் ஏற்கனவே இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் வளர்த்தா போதும். வீட்டில் அப்பா அம்மா ஒழுங்காக வளர்ந்து சோறு போட்டால் போதும் நீங்கள். ரைட். ஸோ the Shock wakes up the mistress, and the eyes first opened on a billet dog. What is billet dogs? Love letter. கண்ணை முழிச்ச உடனே, when the mistress wakes up, the first she opens her eyes on a love letter. Wounds, charms, and orders were no sooner read, but all the vision vanished from her head. What happens? She forgot the warning given by Ariel. The sylph Ariel gave her a warning that she has to be very careful about everyone, especially about men. But what happened? As usual, when Belinda wakes up, she looks at a love letter and forgets everything else. Okay, what nothing can be done. Nobody can save Belinda. Okay. And now I call upon another student to read the next lines. John Lin வாசிக்கிறீங்களா? John Lin Jamler, நம்ம student.
Yes sir, yes sir.
Please continue பண்ணுங்கம்மா.
And now an evil the toilet stands displayed, each silver vase in mystic order laid. First robed in white, the nymph robed in white, the nymph intent adores. With head uncovered, the cosmetic pause, a heavenly image in the glass appears. To that she bends, to that her eyes she rears. The inferior priestess at her altar's side, trembling begins the sacred rites of pride. Unnumbered treasures open at once, and here the various offerings of the world appear. From each she nicely culls with curious toys, and decks the goddess with a glittering spoil. This casket India's glowing gems unlocks, and all Arabia breathes from yonder box.
Breathe from yonder box.
breathed from
So
yonder
parallelly, please
box.
take notes, ma. My dear students, please take notes. I won't give separate notes. Please take notes while I'm explaining the lines. Here, what happens now? Belinda opens her eyes, first looks at the love letter, and then unveiled, opens the toilet stands displayed. Toilets means makeup items. When she opens the eyes, she will look either at the love letter or at the makeup items. And she has so much of elaborate makeup items. And Alexander Pope again satirizes the absurdity about Belinda's vanity by showing how much importance she has given to the grooming items. Silver vases, silver containers in mystic order. And she is the only fellow who is aware of in which order to put one makeup item and the other one. And you can see many girls applying so much of cream, foundation cream, that cream, this cream, and Asian paint, distemper, and so on, right? And when they wash their faces, again they will become Anandangi Nisha, right? What happened? That it is like painting one's kitchen. We need not feel inferior about our skin color, right? By applying so much of cosmetics, we are doing harm for our own skin, right? Beauty is okay, but we are not supposed to use too much of chemicals for makeup items. It may spoil your skin. It may also lead to skin cancer and other complications. Okay. First, robed in white. Robed means dressed in white. The nymph intent adores. Even the nymph is adoring, right? Looking at the beauty of Belinda. With the head uncovered, the cosmetic powers, a heavenly image in the glass appears. That is, Belinda looks at the mirror. To that she bends, to that her eyes she rears. The inferior priestess at her altar's side. It is an altar. What is an altar? Altar is a balibidam. Here, the mirror or in the toilet is compared to an altar here, right? Because who is going to be given as sacrifice? Men are going to be sacrificed. Trembling begins the sacred rites of pride. Unnumbered treasures open at once. All the makeup items are open at once. And here the various offsprings of the world appear. From each she nicely culls with curious toil. Carefully she takes up a quantity of makeup items from each and every box and decks with the goddess with the glittering spoil. The casket, India's glowing gems unlocks, and all Arabia breathes from yonder box. So she is opening so many makeup items at the same time with all Arabia. Arabia breathes from yonder box means Arabia is known for perfumes. So the quantity of perfume available in the box is enough for entire Arabia. So another important meaning is Belinda herself is a great conqueror of these foreign lands. She can conquer even Arabia with her beauty, right? That is the reference given here. She uses puffs and powders to show the process of beautifying herself, just as important as religious duties being performed at temples. How the various steps in which Belinda puts makeup are compared to the elaborate steps performed in the temple during the pujas, during the sacred ceremonies, right? So Alexander Pope compares Belinda to a goddess, a deity who was elaborately dressed up and having put makeups. That is how she is dressed up like an angel, a spirit in a temple or a religious deity, right? So we will continue with the poem now. What happens to Belinda? She has been indulging in lots and lots of makeup and she uses, please continue, ma.
Sir, the tortoise here and elephant unite,
Elephant, unite.
elephant unite, transform to combs, the speckled and the white. Here files of pins extend their shining rows, puff powders, patches, Bibles, billet dogs. Now awful beauty puts on all its arms. The fair each moment rises in her charms, repairs her smiles, awakens every grace, and calls forth all the wonders of her face. Sees by degrees a purer blush arise, and near lightnings quicken in her
Keener,
eyes.
keener lightnings. Keener lightnings quicken in her eyes. Okay, thank you. The tortoise and elephant refers to the elephant shells, and the tortoise refers to the shells, and the elephant they are being killed for their ivory, right? They are transformed to combs. They are using the ivory from the elephant and tortoise shells are used to make the combs of Belinda. Speckled designs and the white designs, files of pins, extend their shining rows of so many pins are available, puffs, powders, patches, Bibles. Look at the list here. Okay, shining rows are okay, puffs are okay, powders are okay, patches are okay. Bibles are also included. So many Bibles are available, versions of Bible. Because as far as Belinda is concerned, Bible is also one among the makeup items. It has no value at all. She considers Bible as also one of the makeup items. Billet dogs, love letters. Now awful beauty puts on all its weapons. Beauty is equipping herself with so many weapons for a fight. What is a fight? Charming fight, beauty fight. Beauty, and especially women, they will always compete with other women. அவன் மூஞ்சியை பார்த்தியா நல்லாவே இல்லை, சவன அசிங்கமா இருக்கா, அவன் என்ன ட்ரெஸ் போட்டிருக்கா, அவன் என்ன மேக்கப் போட்டிருக்கா, அவன் என்ன ஜுவல்ஸ் போட்டு. Have you ever come across a man making such comments about another man? எங்கேயாவது ஒரு ஆம்பளை பையன் இன்னொரு ஆம்பளை பையனை பத்தி பேசி பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? நாங்க எப்பயுமே பொம்பளை பிள்ளை பத்தி தான் பேசுவோம். We never talk about another man. That is a bad habit. Am I right or not? அப்படிதானம்மா? Just for fun. Am I right or not? Women will be always curious about other women, how she looks, how she dresses, how she puts up makeup, right? We never care for another man. We care for only women. We never care for another man. We don't never care about their makeup or dresses. But women are so jealous and envious about other women. They'll be very conscious also. So the beauty is preparing for a fight. So awful beauty, oxymoron. How can beauty be awful? Terrible beauty. How can beauty be terrible? That is oxymoron. Juxtaposing of opposites. Alagiya asura, right? Alagiya thiye. These are all oxymorons. Oxymorons means juxtaposing of opposite words side by side. Kaval yogi. So awful beauty puts on all its arms. The fair each moment rises in her charms, repairs her smiles, awakens every grace. This is another parody here. Repairing smiles. Looking at the mirror, which smile will be more attractive? Awakens every grace. Everybody will look at her. This is the only desire, only ambition of young girls. People must look at them, and calls forth all the wonders of her face. Sees by degrees a purer blush arise, and keener lightnings quicken in her eyes. When her eyes flutter, they are compared to keener, sharp lightnings. Eyes flutter like lightnings. The busy sylphs surround their darling care. These set the head, and those divide the hair. Some fold the sleeve, whilst others plait the gown. And Betty is praised for labors, not her own. So, the eyes are compared to lightnings. The sylphs are surrounding her darling care. These set the head, and those divide the hair. Some spirits, they split themselves as in charges for the head and in charge for the hair. Some spirits are in charge for folding the sleeve. Others are plaiting the gown. Gown இருக்கக்கூடிய plates வச்சு விடுதான். சில பேர் sleeves மடிச்சு விடுதான். And Betty is praised, is no longer really her own. Once again cast doubt on the extent which the poem's characters are truly responsible for their actions. Right? Betty is also praised for labors not her own. She is not putting makeup for her own, but she is putting makeup for Belinda. This is the end of canto number 1. Right? This is the end of canto number 1. So Belinda has been just awakened from the bed. She has woken up in front of the love letters. She opens up her eyes only in the front of mirrors in the toilet, and toilet refers to the makeup room, and there are so many makeup items just being spread in front of the mirror. She opens up everything. There are so many puffs, powders, right, brushes, and so on. Bibles are also there, and she has no moral value or religious value for those Bibles. The Bibles are simply spread only for just as another makeup item. That's all. It has no other value. Please read the text once again, and we'll wind up. Okay. Dear students, am I audible now? Can we have a quick
Yes,
recap
sir.
of the Canto 1? A quick summary of Canto 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, Pope in this mock epic poem, that is the Rape of the Lock, he mocks at and he makes fun of the elaborate makeup items or the vanity of Belinda, who gives great importance to makeup and reading love letters of young men. It is only a mock heroic poem, a mock epic poem. And Pope manages to make fun of the elaborate makeup and elaborate importance given by Belinda for putting makeup, right? That shows the vanity of Belinda. And what happens? Even spirits, angels, and all these deities or fairies are in charge of taking care of her beauty and protecting her from young men. So let me give a quick summary and then we can wind up the class. For Canto 1, the opening of the poem, I told you it is written in the mock heroic style. Pope manages to evoke all kinds of conventional epic subjects of love and war, which include the invocation of muses, that is a muse. Here Carroll is the muse. And the poem is dedicated to John Carroll himself, who is the friend of Pope, right? And the tone of the poem, Pope himself says it is going to be a very serious one, and I am going to give elaborate description about the beauty of Belinda. And then the poem says, Alexander Pope says, I am going to talk about only a trivial subject matter, but the treatment is not going to be a very trivial one. Not trivial means ordinary. So, and there are so many battles that are going to take place, but this battle is not about bloodshed and violence, but this battle is going to take place in front of, it is a beauty battlefield. how to win the hearts of young men. Women and men, they try to win the hearts of the opposite sexes. That is why Pope makes a reference to the word called contest. Contest means fights. Contests are referring to epic battles. That is in original epics. Since it is a mock epic, the battles are limited to only fight for beauty, fight for establishing one's beauty. That is what is described in this poem. So, therefore, there is a basic irony in the initial beginning of the poem. It satirizes and attacks the misguided values of the society. That is, the society takes even small matters to be serious ones. So, kindly ignore this kind of less ordinary issues. And the machinery of the poems was introduced. The supernatural powers that influence the action from behind the scenes. The spirits which are watching Belinda, and they are mimicking the gods of the Greek and the Roman traditions, right? They are mischievous, right? Very active, benevolent, as well as malicious, right? So each female personality or a girl or young girl will be classified into 4 natural categories: gnomes, sylphs, salamanders, and the earth spirits, right? The coquettes, the air spirits. Earth, air, fire, and water. The air refers to sylphs, light coquettes, right? We have salamanders as the fiery spirits. Fiery spirits are salamanders. Water spirits are nymphs. Earth spirits are gnomes. Please make note of it. So, the air spirits, the sylph is in charge of Belinda to guard her chastity from young men spoiling it. So, it is in charge of guiding the spirits. It is also the chief of all the spirits. And the sylphs become an allegory for the mannered conventions that govern the female social behavior, right? Honor and chastity have become more than another part of conventional interaction. So the women are not behaving on the basis of abstract moral principles, but they are governed by, motivated by elaborate social mechanisms, of which the sylphs and the spirits are taking care of their chastity. So the young women are spending too much of their time in elaborate makeup and attracting other sexes. This is the competition, this is the fight they are indulging in. And the spirits are also helping the young women to get spoiled. The Pope also describes Belinda being elaborately indulging in makeup in her dressing table with mock heroic elements that runs throughout the poem. The toilet or the makeup room is filled with so many makeup items and is compared to a religious sacrament in which Belinda is compared to a priestess, right? And she is adoring her own image in the looking glass. She is compared to the goddess she is serving. She is serving her own image. She is the priestess as the goddess also. Belinda is both the priestess na pusari. Belinda is both the priestess as well as the goddess. தனக்கு தானே ஆராதனை செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறாள். The parody of the religious rites before the battle gives way. Then to another kind of mock epic scene, that is a ritualized arming of the hero using combs, pins, cosmetic items, puffs, powders, and so on. So the awful beauty puts on all its arms and is getting ready for the beauty fight. And with this, Canto 1 comes to an end, right?